as a messenger at this time, at this age of the Ascended Masters that I work with, all this time that we're living in the age of miracles, because in many indigenous tribes here in the North American continent call this the fifth age of peace. So what when we move from 2012 in that Mayan calendar into this new time that we're living in, those are all pointers. We're not talking about exact dates, but we're talking about the age of Aquarius. We're talking about our ancestors have been waiting for this time period that we're living right now. We are literally ambassadors and messengers of prophecies that have been foretelling about this time that we're living right now. So for thousands of years, near-death experiences were the only sign for communities or tribes that an individual had been touched by the power of God to share with others about the Holy Spirit or source energy or whatever spirit or whatever you want to call it. But in this fifth age, if you want to call it the fifth age, you want to call it the new age, you want to call it the age of miracles, you can call it whatever you want. This is the time on Earth where you don't need to have a near-death experience to be open to the light within you, to the light of all creation, to the innate and natural gifts that have been given in equal measure to every human being. Now, we all have the sovereign free will, what each of us decide to do with the powers that God has given us, the gifts and talents that God has given us in equal measure. However, it has been given in equal measure. And that's what's called sovereignty. When in the Bible they talk about you have been made, man was made in the image and likeness of God. You were made exactly like God. Your soul is a fractal of God, Source, Divine Mother, Holy Father, consciousness. You were not made anything less than that. So in this current age, this great revolution that we are living here on this planet, each of us has an opportunity in this lifetime to access the innate divine gifts that have been given to you in equal measure. Now everybody's in the paradigm that I channel, which is called the Sophia Code. It's the divine genome of the Holy Mother that she gives to each soul. Like I said, everybody's given the same material, the same stuff, but everybody has a unique sequence of that divine genome, which makes up your personality. Not your ego, your personality. Every soul has a personality. Every soul is a unique fingerprint of God. There is no other soul in this universe or any other that is like your soul. And when we cross over, your personality doesn't go anywhere. When I channel ancestors or I speak to people's loved ones who have crossed over, they still have their personality. They still have their unique sequence of soul characteristics that make them all of those quirky things that we love here on Earth. They're still with them. In the best expression, the best form of that. They're not still smoking 3 packs of cigarettes on the other side. They don't need to do that over there. But they still love, they'll still have the same sense of humor, they'll still have the same passions, the same interests. So let's come into a space of prayer at this time so that we can really journey together as a collective consciousness based on what's been shared here. Divine Mother of all life, I call to the one light source of creation that you are, and I call into that black womb of no thing from which everything arises. I call into the sacred heart of the Holy Mother and the Holy Father to bless our collective prayer for this soulful communion today. Holy Mother, these kind and generous and brave souls are here with questions about world peace, about their loved other side, about what it's like to return to the realms of light, which are your creation. About how to accept, value, cherish, and honor their humanity as the true spiritual journey. Holy Mother, thank you so much that you love us like little children. No matter what we do, you are unconditionally lavishing and pouring waterfalls of divine love upon us in every moment through all of life and all of creation every day. Thank you for the gift of this present moment. Thank you for the generosity of everyone here sharing the precious gift of their time here. May our time be blessed. May we receive beyond our understanding that which our hearts are asking to know, to feel, to surrender into your grace here today. At this time, I also ask Holy Mother for your Ascended Master Council, of which you have asked me to represent here in my human journey to now step forward, the Sophia Dragon Tribe. And in the northern quadrant, in the northern gate of this room, I welcome in the Ascended Master White Buffalo Woman. In the northeast, I welcome in the Ascended Master Isis. In the east, the seat of illumination, I welcome in the beautiful Ascended Master Hathor. In the southeast, I welcome in the beautiful Ascended Master Green Tara. In the south, I welcome in the Ascended Master Mother Mary, she of 1,000 roses. In the southeast, I welcome in Mary Magdalene and Jesus, her twin flame. In the west, I welcome in the Ascended Master, she of 1,000 waters, Kuan Yin. And in the northwest, I welcome in the High Seraphim of you, Holy Mother, the Holy Spirit, Sophia Dragons, to come in and bless us, to expand our consciousness beyond that which we consider normal reality, so that we can step into the quantum reality of your true creation, Holy Mother. In the center of this circle, I welcome in the presence of all of our higher self-consciousness, our collective I Am presence. In particular, for today's transmission, I welcome in the presence of everybody's inner child. There is a precious inner child within each of us here as adults, and you are welcome here. May you find peace and sanctuary in the arms of the Holy Mother and the Holy Father here. And so it is. Okay. My first intention is to speak about my journey with Christ consciousness. Is everybody familiar with the term Christ consciousness? If you're not, that's okay. It's also called Buddha consciousness or unity consciousness. And what those terms mean, it's a state of consciousness where you rise above the duality of this earth plane. And you're able to witness your life and the life of others from that higher self perspective, from that witness perspective, from God's perspective. So, on this third plane of creation here on the earth, somebody doing something that's very harmful or causing suffering to others brings us quite a bit of suffering. But when we rise above to the highest planes of creation to witness, why is this happening on the earth plane? What purpose is it serving? How is it teaching all of us how to withstand and ask for more of what we want? How is it teaching us to decide we don't want that anymore? How would we know what we want or don't want if there wasn't somebody acting as a perpetrator? So when we step into Christ consciousness, what we're stepping into is a perspective where we can witness how the shadows play their role here on the earth plane so that we can understand more about our light. So that we can see that every person here on this earth, no matter what they're doing, is actually a child of God. A child of God that may have forgotten who they are. Forgotten so much so that they appear to be demonic. However, they are still a child of God. And they too will find their way back into the arms of the Holy Mother and Holy Father. But here in the earth plane, certain individuals have chosen to play certain roles so that we can remember who we are as angels. So I preface what I'm going to share today with that first point, because what I have to share about my near-death experiences was my deepest initiation into Christ consciousness and Buddha consciousness in this lifetime. Christ consciousness also includes the topic of forgiveness. Forgiveness from a place where there is two parts to it. Where there's the act of forgiving here on the earth plane and saying, I accept that I don't like what happened. I want it to be different. I want this to change. Something happened that really caused me a great deal of suffering, and I have to choose to either hold on to this forever, or am I going to forgive, which then allows me to be free. It has nothing to do with what the other person did. This is going to unplug me from the hatred, the grief, the trauma, the depression. Can I pull the plug by forgiving? Not excusing, not saying what the other person did was acceptable in any way. It's about pulling the plug so that they can't take your power. It's to free yourself. Now the other aspect of forgiveness, once you get through that part, then there's the next step, which happens from that perspective of Christ consciousness, far, far higher up from the earth plane, in a place called the seventh plane. And in the seventh plane, you get to witness that there's nothing actually to forgive. On the earth plane, yes, we must go through that journey. But from the highest perspective of God, there's nothing to forgive. There is simply the contrast of souls playing roles for the evolution of a collective. So that's the first reason why I came here to talk about my near-death experiences. And we'll get into more of that. The second reason I came is because my near-death experiences brought me into contact with the beings that exist in the light planes that interface with this earth, such as archangels and guardian angels, fairies, the ascended masters, devas of trees, rivers, mountains. This earth is populated with species beyond our ability to count, actually. Angels of all forms. You can have a conversation with the intellect and consciousness of any being here on this planet, whether it's inside a natural form, or if it's an angel tending to the natural forms, or if it's the angels tending to the angels of the natural forms. There are hierarchies and hierarchies and hierarchies and hierarchies of light beings that are all here focused to help us have as harmonious of an experience as we can have here in our earthly human journey. And they can help us beyond our human comprehension, but because we have been given sovereign free will, we must always ask for their help, because they will never interfere with your free will. And so from my near-death experiences, a great passion arose within my heart to be in service to this light, to be in service to my family of light, to all of these angelic beings in all their forms, and to share the message wherever I go, that there are mighty helpers in every realm, all around you, all day long. A lot of them are unemployed because so many people forget to ask for their help. A lot of unemployed angels. So I'm a messenger to say that they are real, they are here, they're asking for your yes. They're asking for your co-creation, for your participation, for this two-way dialogue. I'm also here to speak about the different planes after you leave your body, what happens. So we'll talk about that as well, the different locations that your soul can go. The third point. There was a third point. The third point. The one I came to speak about my near-death experiences was because life is so precious. It is so incredibly precious. It's breathtakingly precious. Your human life is your greatest wealth. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. It doesn't matter who you're married to or that your divine partner hasn't shown up yet. It doesn't matter what's happening in your career. You're here. You won the lottery. This is the Harvard University of this corner of the universe. You are a master. You're here. It doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. You are a gift. Your life is a gift. And the journey that I've gone on to recover from my near-death experiences, there were years that I couldn't get out of bed. There were months at a time where my friends and my community had to take care of me because I was barely functioning and I didn't know. I could hardly feel. I could hardly feel anything. And so at that time in my life, the only thing that was keeping me wanting to stay here was because I knew that if I left, I would just have to keep coming back again and finish the work that I started. But now I know that Spirit, the Holy Mother, has called me to speak at this time because I have a message of joy that I can share that comes from a very authentic place. It's not some metaphysical, new age, fluffy, happy, joy message. It's like, no, I found this joy through the darkest grief. I can say for certain that when I scrub a floor or, labor away on a meal for my family, it's like the most ecstatic experience for me. Like, this is wonderful. This is absolutely my favorite thing to do is come and speak or channel and share God's love. But at this point in my life, it's just the same as like looking into my partner's eyes or walking down the street by myself or even when I cry. I'm so grateful to be alive. And I just want more and more and more and more life. So that's the third reason why I came to talk about my near-death experiences, because I feel often the subject matter is shrouded in a lot of metaphysical, wooey, specialness, like, oh, this is just for the special people. It's like, no. This event, this moment in time is for me to share with you that we're all sitting here together for a reason, and that's to share in the profound miracle of our lives. Really. It's really that special. Thank you so much for being alive. So that's where I'm going to go with this topic today. I want to share a little bit about how my near-death experiences happened for the purpose of the spiritual offering that comes out of my vulnerable truth. The story that I have to share is not even close to an easy story, and I'm going to share it in a way that is delicate and mindful, but I am going to share it. And I'm open to questions, but I can't answer all questions. And so for a little while we'll talk about this piece, but then we're going to move on to the spiritual offerings that have come out of my life journey of these near-death experiences. My point is not to focus on the trauma. My point is to focus on the journey of our collective salvation, of us saving ourselves here through the power of our love. So I'm really glad that I'm sorry, what's your name? The Bart of the collective prayer for world peace that we have.
Yeah.
Because that is a big part of my near-death story. So this is the first time that I've ever publicly shared my near-death experiences. I have a feeling it won't be the last, but thanks for being a part of my initiation of this. Blessing your journey. So on this altar, next to Mother Mary, this is a picture of myself at 4 years old. And that was taken, I don't know if it was taken before or after I died, but it was the year that I died. And so when we did the prayer for the inner child, there was a reason why I brought that in. Part of my work as a spiritual teacher and healer and channel is to talk about our inner child. Very often we relegate that to a minor aspect of healing. Well, our inner child actually holds the keys to the kingdom of heaven on earth within you. When Jesus said, "Bring the little children unto me, for theirs is the kingdom of God," that's what he was talking about. It's your inner child that knows your right career, that can bring you to your perfect partner, that knows all about why there isn't enough in your bank account or how to put more in it. But he or she won't give you any of that information if you are not listening. It's just like any other child. You don't play with them. You don't take the time to get to know them. You don't hug them. You don't tell them how much you love them. They're not going to tell you their secrets. They're not going to trust you. And that's the same way with our inner child. Some of us have spoken to our inner child for 20 years. We think it's all about God and angels and our higher self. Yeah, it's very important pieces. Our inner child represents the innocence of our soul. And our innocence is our true guidance system. That's where our heart is speaking clearly to us. So my inner child is asking to tell the truth today about my near-death experiences. For the first 18 years of my life, I was systemically and ritually tortured and raped I was trafficked in a child rape slave trade that spanned across six states, across New England, including Washington, D.C. The men and women that were trafficking us were very high-level politicians, celebrities, people of power. We were being traded for real estate, political power. These men and women were quite suffering. They believed that the rape and torture of children would mean that they could steal the innocence of the children and live forever if they took that which was in the child. So my first near-death experience happened in New Hampshire in one of these experiences, and at the age of 4. And that was the first of many. I've witnessed many children die as a child that were not as fortunate as I was to be able to make it through the atrocities that I lived through. Many of these children were all part of my church. This was all done in the name of God and country. And so what happened was that because of my DNA, because of my spiritual training in all of my other lifetimes, which when I was born, I was actually consciously aware of. I was born very awakened as a child, and I was recognized as a genius as well, which they used on their behalf. I had the ability to regenerate myself very quickly. And many bones in my body broken. I don't know how I'm walking. Somehow I am intact. And that was because of the power of my higher self, power of my soul, that was able to very quickly regenerate my body, which was used to their advantage. They took it very, very far. And at the age of 9, I experienced my worst near-death experience through a particular ritual, which I will not explain the details of, but I was left dead for 3 days and in a coma for 20. I don't know how I came back other than the grace of God, because there were other children that were murdered in that ritual. Before what happened in that experience happened, I witnessed an angel above my head, and I left my body and went into the arms of the angel, and I was taken to a council of light. I did not know at that time that that council was now the Ascended Master Council that I channel today, which they have asked me to call them the Sophia Dragon Tribe. But I knew who Jesus was. And he was right there by my side. And when I was in the coma, I was taken into a realm of light to a council where there was a very large table. It was like a conference room. And at the conference table, there was all the masters of light on one side, and there was all of the beings who had fallen into suffering and darkness that were causing humans to do these acts, these atrocious acts on earth, being lined up on the other side of the conference table. So it was a meeting. It was a meeting about my soul. And in that meeting, it was decided that even though I had more soul contracts to stay as a witness within these atrocities, that the near-death experience that I had experienced at the age of 9, it would never be like that again. It would never be that bad. That's not to say there weren't other incredibly horrifying things that happened, but never like that again. It was also decided at that meeting that I would come back and that I would make it to this place that I am now here sitting in front of each of you. And at that time, I witnessed, as a child, the Ascended Masters and the angels came and almost like set up an infirmary, a hospital that kind of interfaced with where I was living. So no matter what was happening to me, I was constantly being tended to by the angels and archangels to recover, regenerate, keep going, to make it through. So when I say that the angels and the Ascended Masters can help you, they can help you with anything. If they can help you stay alive or recover from rape or being tortured, how much more can they help you with your partnership or your job, or your love life, or your children? Have the power to help us with everything. It's really like that. At the age of 4 was the first time that I saw the angels. I was alone in the living room. I was very confused. And there was things happening in the house. And I didn't know what to do. And I looked up, and there was a whole team of angels, and they had clipboards and pens, and there was like equipment, almost like we would see at a hospital, and they were all taking notes and talking very animately to each other. They were kind of all huddled and reviewing statistics, and I looked up at them, and they realized that I could see them, and they started going like this, like, hey, you can see us, keep looking at us, keep talking to us. And that's when I blacked out. It was quite an awakening at 4 to see these beings standing in my living room. I believe that was the first time because of the opening that I had when I went into the light at 4. So when I went into the light at 4, you hear that term often, going into the light. What's the first light that you're going into? It's the light of your soul. It's the light of your soul. Once you go into the light of your soul, then you will see different, whether it's ancestors or angels or Ascended Masters or guides, that will then guide you to a light realm that interfaces with the earth, that you can check in and get the help that you need. So I was taken to a light realm hospital at that point where there was lots of angels. And there were other children there as well, the spirits of other children that were having near-death experiences from being raped and tortured as well, that were in this angelic hospital in the light realms. This is how much God loves us, that there are so many resources for beings who are suffering, that when they cross over immediately, they're taken into a place to help what's been broken in their soul. Help sew it back up. Heal it back up. Keep going. These people that were doing this were very, very, very wealthy. There was millions of dollars being exchanged for this child rape slave trade. This wasn't like some sort of trafficking in India. This was very high level trafficking that's happening, it's still happening. And They have private hospitals, they have doctors that will put these children back together, of which I was being held at multiple times, being put back together, many times in comas. So I escaped at the age of 18. I was on the run for many years in the sense of doing my best to hide my addresses and remain anonymous. However, because of my near-death experiences, I had been opened to the source of creation, to these angelic beings, in such a way that there was no denying my life purpose as a messenger of the light. So no matter how far I thought I needed to run or hide, being seen was calling me always, as I am here. And I'd like to say that if anybody's had an experience like this in any way, or any form of abuse or trauma, or you feel as though you're still hiding, I want to encourage you by what I have found for myself is that the more you step into the light of being seen, the safer you are. The more you are willing to be your true self, the more you are willing to trust in God's love and light for you and within you, the safer you're going to be, to the point where you finally discover your invincibility, which is the true nature of your soul. Not only is the true nature of your soul innocent, it's also invincible. Your humanity may feel fragile, however, your soul is eternal and invincible. So that's a little bit about my near-death experiences. I'll share a little bit about my professional career just briefly. I've been publicly channeling for, I believe, it's hard to track, I think it's like 5 or 6 years at this point. But I've had a private practice for 11 years at this time, so 11 or 12 years. Yeah, 11 years. And I've trained with really great teachers all over the country, but my teachers have always been the Ascended Masters and the Angels of Light, and the ancestors who have taught me directly since childhood, but in particular for the past 10 years. My favorite way to serve is through community ceremonies, bringing communities together into the light of creation, and to share what's real, to share what's true, to honor our humanity. We all worked really hard to be here. And one of my other favorite things in my journey in this walk of being a messenger is like, how much joy can we live in now? What can we do with all of this suffering that we have lived so that we can bring the greatest light? I have seen the darkest depths of hell. There are things that I don't even know if it's appropriate to speak of in this space, the depths of hell that I have seen on this earth. However, when you are willing in any level of your personal suffering, whatever is the darkest, scariest thing for you, if you can go all the way through, you get to go just as high into the light. So in answer to your question, there are days where I am constantly in prayer because I have forgiven these men because I needed to free myself and them too. This is still going on. Our justice system is not designed for the survivors of such atrocities. So I could have sat up in heaven, whatever realm you want to call it, and felt sorry for myself and said, not me, I'm not going back, that was too hard. No. I said, yes, me. I am tired of this planet raping its own children. I'm coming back, and I'm going to take a stand by being a loving, kind, compassionate messenger of light. I don't have to fight against anything. I can have all my feelings about it. But I'm going to be here, and I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm going to be available for the healing. Because my soul knows that if I'm here in my body, I get a vote.
Yeah.
I get a vote if I'm in my body. I get a chance to make a difference with my sovereignty and my free will. I get to have an opportunity to come in and talk to amazing people and see what they're curious about, what they want to create for a new heaven on earth. So that's why I came back. Did I like it? No, I hated it. Was I angry? No, I was rageful. How did I get through 2 years of my life? Thinking about how I would kill those men every day of my life. Did that mean I was going to do it? No, not a chance. I would never give them the satisfaction. It just meant I did whatever it took to get through my day so I could be a happy, joyful, loving person right now. And that doesn't mean that I still don't feel anger sometimes. There's days where I'm so overwhelmed with anger about what happened to me and these children and what's still happening that I can't eat. But then I pray and I trust and I ask God to show me how can I continue to be brave and show up to my life so that I can create something beautiful for myself to honor what I've gone through and for the children coming up. Because they're special. We're special. We deserve a new world. But if I wasn't here willing to speak the truth, like, there's another light worker doing the same thing right now, Teal Swan, she just went public. And she just announced her own ritualistic torture and abuse that happened to her. That's right. If we weren't speaking about this, who would?
Yeah.
I pray to God that there are other people that will be brave enough to say, I came as a witness too. So there's a lot of other questions in the room.
Yeah.
If there's any other question, please make it brief.
Yes, and so you did truly have a near-death experience because you accepted His cross, and regardless, you had assurance that regardless what they do to your body, I have assurance that death is not the final journey for me.
Yes,
You
and
know,
honestly,
so
that's...
yeah, you did have a near-death experience. You know, I will concur with that because just, you know, I'm not
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. God bless you. I want to attend to the other questions. Yes.
Hi, my name is Don G. Nice to meet you, Kaia.
Hi.
I had a question about being in the light. The first time you experienced the light,
Yes.
was it so bright and overpowering that you couldn't see anything else? Or were you able to see everything that was in this realm? Like you talked about the seventh plane.
Right.
Could you see anything up there? What were the feelings and what were the visions you had of this light? Can you touch on that?
The light is always perfect, beautiful, and welcoming, and embracing, and home. It's another experience of home. And it's the first time I went into the light, it was at 4. I brought the pictures. So like I said, I went into the light. But there's so many steps into the light. You know, it goes on all the way into the 7th plane. So you're going through the light of your soul and the light of all the planes into the light of the 7th. So, you know, like I said, most of my near-death experiences, I didn't just go straight into the 7th plane because I wanted to stay close to my human body. So I went into the 5th plane, went through the light, and then in the 5th plane there are temples, hospitals, communities, entire cities of light that you can go to receive your healing and to receive your teachings from the masters, to do your counsels before you come back to your body. So at the age of 4, I went into the light, but then I emerged I was being greeted by angels that took me into this, what looked like a hospital. There's a great movie about this topic called Astral City, about a Brazilian, yes. When I saw it, it was so comforting to me because it was exactly concurrent with so many of my near-death experiences of how I was greeted and received and counseled, and I highly recommend it. It's based on books by a Brazilian channel, very famous, I forget his name, very famous Brazilian channel. Thank you. Would you repeat?
Chico Xavier.
But it's actually a really beautifully done movie, so I'd suggest watching that movie as well. Yeah, does that answer your question? Do you have?
Yeah, just because I was just curious about my own near-death experience. Like when I went into the light, I didn't see people around me, but I felt their presence.
Yes.
And I felt like one presence in particular telling me not to worry about anything ever. And it was just, the light was so overpowering that I couldn't make out like shapes or figures or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like this beautiful flow and peace of, happiness and bliss before I had to come back. And
Awesome.
it was amazing.
We see what we need to see. A near-death experience is just like any other spiritual experience. We see and we hear what we're ready to see. So that was exactly what you needed. And nothing to say about that. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for coming back. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
So great to have you here. So happy about that. Nice choice. Okay, one more question. Ava, yes, dear. Hi. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Sort of a two-part, but it's still a simple question you've touched on. When you said you were in a coma for 20 days,
Yes.
how were you aware that it was 20 days of Earth time? I mean, maybe it was just like you had the awareness, or they let you know, and that's how you knew it was 20 days. And then the second part is, because I have had trauma-based near-death experiences, I would call it, that I was in a coma twice, but I don't remember seeing anything, and I wasn't aware of time on Earth. I just remember when I came out of it, some days had passed, but I just, there was no lights, there was nothing. It was like, oh shit, I'm still alive.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there was, when I came in this lifetime, there was already a lot of light switches turned on for me to be able to, not that I understand and did that, but what I understand now, that's to say, but this was, I came in with a lot of tools and awarenesses that I couldn't talk to about with anybody else, but there was enough awareness to be able to track certain things. It was just, it was like we just talked about. You know what you need to know, you see what you need to see in your different near-death experiences. And with that said, because I'm a channel, I have been able to do a lot of tracking as well around these near-death experiences, a lot of counsel with my guides and ascended masters, and there have been other details that have emerged over the years that have helped me understand the history of what I went through better now with more experience and more insight. So yeah, it's always challenging to go back and have to revisit the memories, but you can just think about it like a reconnaissance mission. It's not a problem, and they're your files. It's all on your hard drive. So if there's parts of your NDEs that you don't fully understand, ask your angels, ask your higher self, ask your guides to bring you back to that moment and call in the witness perspective, that Christ consciousness perspective, so that you can, just sit back and just be like, oh, okay, well, that's what was going on. Oh, that's why that happened. Oh gosh, show me where I went. You can say, higher self, where did I go during that NDE? Take me now. I want to see myself in that moment there. Show me. And you can do that in meditation. You can do that through prayer. And if you need help, you can do that with the help of a hypnotherapy is great for that as well. Guided journey